All right. Well, I'm going to kind of casually start in here. So I want to welcome everybody to a really exciting session. So no pressure, Urvashi and Shrikant, right? So you are exciting in my book.
Mhm.
So it's a really great, I think, very timely topic. I myself am going to be learning quite a bit today on this whole concept of vibe coding. So thank you so much if you're here with us live. And if you're catching the replay, rock on. Thank you so much for watching the replay. And let's hope to connect soon. Again, if I haven't connected with you directly myself in a little while, you guys know that I always want a personal update. So please DM me, drop me an email, throw me, whatever it is, whatever works for you, whatever mode of communication. I would love to hear from you, especially in our current day and age. It feels sometimes, even though we're technically connected, right, through a lot of these tools and apps, sometimes it feels like a disconnecting experience, or maybe that's just me. So I always want to keep the humanity in all of the different conversations that we're having, no matter how high tech we get, right? So, and I do want to give a little context. So, this is the October 2025 YP Network training, and we do have our amazing guest speakers that I'll say a little bit more about in a few minutes with us. Again, they are Urvashi and Shrikant talking today on vibe coding, and I will get into like decoding what the heck is the YP network. I know there's a lot of acronyms thrown around. But again, big welcome. Thanks everybody for being here, and appreciate you, especially being on video, if at all possible. That would be so amazing. And if not, it's all good. We don't take it personally. Oh, there she is. Hello, Paramala. So nice to see your face. Thank you for being here. So
Thanks for
I am
inviting
going
me.
I'm going to share my screen here for just a moment. This is not I don't have a lot of slides, which is probably a relief. I know we're going to really default to our speakers here. They have some slides to show you, and we'll be facilitating most of today's conversation. They're going to piece out around 1:30-ish, and then I am going to hang around to do a bit of a debrief on what we got from the session today and how we can integrate this into our everyday lives. I know we also have some people that are joining us a little bit later. So Urvashi Shrikant, you're obviously welcome to stay till 2, but I know you guys have a packed agenda. You're doing another vibe coding session later today, and you've got other meetings. So we really appreciate you carving out the time to be our October 2025 YP Network trainers. So thank you both so much for making it happen. Okay, so this is today's agenda. So hopefully you felt welcome, okay? And if not, I'm going to officially welcome you right now. So we're going to do a brief round of introductions. So that means that everybody here who's live with us, please, you have a moment to introduce yourself. If you can say your name, if you'd like to say where you're zooming in from, and especially what motivated you to attend today's session on vibe coding. I think that would be very insightful, interesting to me, but also very helpful for our facilitators today. I'm going to just give you a little context about what the heck is the YP network. Again, just so you're not on the edge of your seat, YP stands for Young Professionals Network, and I'll get into that acronym in just a moment. I will be introducing our trainers today, Urvashi and Shrikant, and then as I mentioned, I will facilitate a reflection wrap up a little after 1:30 and beyond. Will be wrapped up by 2 p.m. today. And if you need to bounce, you do your thing. I'm just so happy that you chose to be here today with us live. Okay, so just briefly, I want to say what is the YP network so you have a sense of like where you are, and then we'll back up and do our intros. Okay, so asking you to bounce around, bear with me here for a moment. So I have a company called Visions Internships. I started this company in December of 2020, so we were coming up on our 5 years in business, which is wild. And some of you who know me know that personal and core values very, very important, right? If we don't know what we stand for, we can fall for anything. So I find it very important to share our company values, which are very much fueled by my own personal values, being the founder and CEO of Visions Internship. So we really stand for well-being, opportunity, results, and kindness. And I'm seeing some people like Sean, for example, he used to know, like, we used to work together, right? And so like the acronyms have not gone away. I love like the acronyms and plays on words. So we stand in these four key values, again, well-being, opportunity, results, and kindness. And the YP network it's a welcoming virtual community providing young professionals between the ages of 18 and 35-ish with career training, coaching, and support year round. Some of you know, some of you who have actually been part of our annual conference. We have an annual conference every June called the Career and Leadership Conference for Purpose-Driven Young Professionals. And so it was brought to my attention by some of our young people. In fact, Brian, who's been a real mover shaker helping with a lot of our programming, hey, what are we doing for young people in between our annual conferences? So that's where the YP network emerged. And this is currently a free program. We're kind of co-creating this with you, and it is something that's going to replace some of the other programming that I do for young people. So there will be some sort of a membership fee rolling out in 2026, but that's really not my greatest concern. But that's the context of where you are. So again, every month we're going to have these YP network trainings, and we do have a couple more trainings coming up. I'll mention that toward the end. So back to our intros, my friends. So please, if you could, certainly take yourselves off mute, like right, unless you have like a barking dog or there's something really loud. Like just feel free. This is your space. So please share with us your name. I know most of you have your name right on your screen. If you'd like to say where you're zooming in from, and most importantly, what really motivated you to attend today's session on vibe coding? So, Jennifer, could we get crazy and start with you and then go to Paramala and then Drina, and then we'll move on to the others I see on my screen. So, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jennifer Capistran. I'm with Cervelo CPA, and I'm an HR and recruiter specialist, and I also do social media. And I met Amy, as she had mentioned, this week at our BFF luncheon, and she kind of talked about different things, and we connected on LinkedIn, and now I'm here. So I'm interested to learn more.
Amazing. I love you're just like a yes, like you're a yes to life. I just met you 2 days ago and you have such a great vibe. Urvashi, I'm going to use that. I know, right? It's like that word vibe. It's kind of woven
Love
throughout.
it.
But thank you for being here so much. And Jennifer, totally up to you. The Vinny, so is that's probably your company's Zoom, but this is Jennifer
Yeah.
Vinny. So just in case anyone wanted to address her. So thanks for kicking things off. It's not always easy to go first, but I appreciate it. We'll go to Paramala, Drina, and then Brian, if you're able.
Um, Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm so happy to be here again. I'm Parimala. I finished my master's in business analytics from Clark University, and right now I'm zooming in from Florida, Tallahassee. And then when I saw the invite, like vibe coding, it interested me because I've been seeing it all over the social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and like even the work. Articles that I've been reading or like tech articles, everything it has been white coding. It took for the past 1 week and I've been researching myself like what exactly it is and how I can do it and all of that. And like when I heard about white coding, then I was like, oh, this is for me. The timing is perfect. So
Oh,
yeah, that totally interested me and I'm so happy to meet again, Urvashi and like Drina. I've met you both like from last year
yeah.
conference and I'm so happy to see you both again.
Oh,
Good seeing
beautiful.
you.
Thank you, Parmala. We'll have to connect soon. I want to hear how life is going for you down in Florida. So thank you for being
Definitely, yeah.
here. Amazing. So Drina and then Brian and then Sean, if we could.
Sure. Hi. Thank you for hosting this event. And yeah, it's good to see some familiar faces again. I'm Drina and I'm zooming in from Boston. I'm a PhD student in education at Boston College, and I'm currently trying to write a dissertation on Gen AI and teacher education context. So I don't really know what vibe coding is, but I'm just trying to learn more about different ways of using AI in different contexts. So I'm excited to learn more today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm fascinated to hear more about your research and what you're pursuing with your PhD, Drina. Thank you so much and for carving out the time to be here as well. And I'm seeing Brian has introduced himself in the chat. I know actually Brian is, he is a powerhouse. He's like in four places at once. So he is with us and he's able to introduce himself through the chat. I'll just read briefly. So Brian Lewis Cummings, he's virtually coming in from Boston as well. So your neighbor there, Drina. I'm here today to support the motion of always moving forward in professional and personal development. He loves tech. He loves a good vibe. That is so true. You like embody the good vibe, my friend. So there's a clear correlation here, he says. He's excited to be a part of the conversation session and to continue to grow in a great community. And Brian is a really great person as well who is helping to shape the programming of the YP network. So keep that in mind and make sure you guys are in contact. Brian, if you want to drop your LinkedIn, guys, and that reminds me, please use the chat to your advantage. Please be networking with each other and connect with each other on LinkedIn, elsewhere, if you'd like to use that. We can do it all, right? So just do your thing and use the chat as you see fit. Let's move, if we could, to Sean and then Sahith Sani. Um, Shoot, I think he bounced. Oh, no, he didn't. Sahith, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So we'll hear from Sean Magali. Hello.
Hi, Amy. Hi, everybody. This is Sean McGauley. I'm tuning in from Douglas, Massachusetts. I'll be impressed if anybody knows that small town. Amy and I go way back. We used to work together for the city of Worcester, and we've kept in touch. It's been a while since I've seen you, Amy. So I saw the
Totally.
invite for this. I work in marketing on my day job, and vibe marketing is kind of hit the scene too. And I see vibe coding, so it's definitely um, Piramala. I feel the same way. I've been seeing it everywhere. I just want to know more about it. So that's why I'm joining today.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sean. And let's catch up soon. Hopefully this month we can connect one-on-one if possible.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sahith, sorry, I think you were one of the earlier people on. I should have said hello earlier, but here you are. Welcome.
Hey, Amy. This is first time I'm joining here. So I recently completed my master's, and I have noticed there are some vibe coding. It has been gaining a lot of attention. So I don't know much about it, and but I came across the event going on in the LinkedIn, so I decided to check it out, and I'm here now.
Amazing. Thank you for
Mhm,
being here. And guys, that's the common theme. Like we are human
mhm.
beings, and we have chosen to be here. So
Yeah.
there's a lot swirling around us. There's a lot of noise, whether it's tech tools or anything else going on in your personal life, guys. There's so many things simultaneously occurring. And I just really
Mhm.
acknowledge you for taking a little bit of time and choosing to be here now. So it makes a huge difference. And we're all learning and growing together. So I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone in the intro round before I'm going to briefly introduce our speakers, and then they're going to introduce themselves as well a little bit, because you guys can probably speak to some things that I may not hit on. But let's just make sure everybody good. I know I'm looking at other note takers, but those are not people who are going to introduce themselves. So I think we'll move into, um, let me briefly introduce Urvashi Batra, who is just an incredible human who I met relatively recently in the last year. She is the co-founder of Prioriwise, and they'll say a little bit more about their company, their co-founders. And Urvashi really has come up with this AI powered platform that helps small businesses cut through the noise, prioritize their most impactful activities, right? So who doesn't want to like identify what's most important and impactful? And she's really driven to revolutionize how small businesses operate by bridging the gap between purpose and profit with innovative, actionable solutions rooted in clarity. So obviously I was very drawn to her just for that alone. She's got over 20 years experience in program management, customer success across both enterprise, startup environments, and she brings this deep expertise into her work. And just having worked with Urvashi, she was also one of our breakout facilitators for this past CLC, the Conference for Young People, and very knowledgeable and yet very humble. So it's been my pleasure to work with you. She does a lot of mentoring and teaching. She serves as a guest speaker at Northeastern University, mentors participants in Harvard's entrepreneurship and summer program. So as I like to say, Urvashi, just another slacker out there. So big welcome to you. Is there anything that I missed or you'd like to highlight, Urvashi Batra?
You basically got it all. My gosh, I don't think I have anything to add. Thank you for making me look so exceptional. I'm
You
so
are.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so
Oh
much.
my goodness, of course. Thank you, thank you. Fantastic. And Shrikant, I've met a little bit more recently through Urvashi, of course, being her co-founder with PrioriWise. And one of the things that if you connect with, I should say, when you connect with Shrikant on LinkedIn, one of the things that really I love, it popped to me, is right on the top of your LinkedIn, Shrikant, it says connect actions to outcomes. And then you add effortlessly. And I was like, oh, yes, please. I need more effortlessness in my life. He's an entrepreneur, he's an engineer, he's also an instructor, and he's on a quest to level the entrepreneurship playing field for women by leading the integration of purpose driven actions, cutting edge AI, and industry proven business practices to empower small businesses to scale sustainably, authentically, and efficiently. So that's fantastic, Shrikant. Is there anything that I'm missing or anything you want to say more to highlight about what you bring to the table here today?
Amy, like you did for Rishi, fantastic job. I couldn't have described myself better. Thank you for
Oh,
making me look so good. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you both. Okay, so everybody, I am going to just zoom out for a quick moment. Especially guys, if you're seeing this, I just want you to see again that we're inside of something called the YP Network, and these amazing guest speakers are our trainers for the month of October. And we are going to be having 2 additional trainings plus a live coaching session, all free for this year of 2025, wanting to wrap up and support young professionals well. So I just want to give you guys a sense of some of the training topics. And also, if there's other training topics, if you're a young person and maybe you're struggling with something, or you hear from a lot of your peers and colleagues like, oh man, like I really could use some additional skill building in some area. Maybe it's not listed on the screen. So if you can just take a quick look at this, is there anything that's really glaringly missing? And or any of these things that are particularly exciting for you. So we like to have essentially a monthly big topic, and then our trainers in some way, shape, or form touch on that monthly topic. Okay, so just some quick examples. So early, in the year, so next year, January, it'll be something to do with well-being, clarity, confidence, which I heard some of those bits in the intros. February, I'm a big fan, as you probably can tell, of human connection. So just making sure that humans, especially in the colder months here in New England, are feeling connected, supported, that we are intentionally collaborating, right? And I know that Urvashi and Shrikant, you guys can probably relate to this. It can be a little bit of an isolating feeling, even in summertime, when you are developing a new concept, not to mention an idea or a product or a business. So making sure that we are intentionally collaborating really throughout the year is very important. I want you to think about, well, how am I collaborating? How do I want to be collaborating? In around the time around March, we do something around career exploration, really making sure that young people are clear about their purpose, why you're here on the planet. I find that to be very motivating. April, we move into personal finance, financial literacy month, the month of April, of course, tax month, right? May, we get into entrepreneurial mindset topics, so systems for success. June, as you may know, is National Communication Month, so effective communication, networking, making sure that you're not just sort of learning about networking, but you're intentionally putting things in your calendar, whether it's virtually or in person. And especially if you're here in New England during the warmer months, my friends, you really want to take advantage of April, May, June, July, August, September, right? Make sure you're putting these things in your calendar or they probably won't happen. In July, you want to be thinking about really how do I market myself, especially for the upcoming fall, really marketing yourself and your abilities, your personal branding. Also training you in interviewing techniques, right? There are things that we say and don't say in the first versus second interview. That's very important. September, looking at productivity and performance, some project management aspects, leadership, sustainability, impact. And then toward the end of the year, November, we like to have something called the virtual networking event, which will be coming up on November 13th. So please mark your calendars. That's a time for people of all professions and backgrounds, ages and stages to come together. Again, it's between 12:30 and 2 via Zoom. And this is again, just invitation, guys. Come meet people, greet them, and we can even do breakout sessions based on your areas of interest. So make sure you put that on your calendar for November 13th. And then in December, we already have some great trainers lined up that are savvy in finance and wanting to make sure that you're envisioning success for the new year, specifically in the areas of financial success in 2026 and beyond. So these are just a few. If you guys want to take a quick snapshot, if you're a young person or you know someone who wants this support, these are our upcoming remaining YP Network sessions for the rest of this calendar year. So I'll give that a moment. I'll take a sip of my coffee and I want to just see if there's anybody else that's joined us, and we're going to hand it over to our incredible speakers. So take a moment. Any questions or thoughts about anything I've shared so far? All right, I hope this was helpful, everybody. So without further ado, I am going to stop my share. I'm going to allow, I'm not sure Urvashi or Shrikant who is sharing screen, but
I'll
I
be
don't know if there's
sharing.
any
So,
issue. We should be
yeah,
good to go. And
right.
I'm going to lean back and I'm just so excited. So Prioriwise, and feel free to tell us a little bit about, of course, your company and then get right into your topic. So thanks again.
Yeah, of course. So welcome everyone. So excited to be here. Hope everyone can see my screen here. So we are Prioriwise. Amy did such a fantastic job introducing us. Yes, we've built an AI product to help small to mid-sized businesses prioritize their most important activities. using AI recommendations as well as enterprise best practices. We are leaning into more tech companies, but we really work across the board with all companies, including wellness companies. We're actually partnering with the Mass Technology Leadership Council and doing some work with them as well. So really exciting space for us to be right now. And I'm so excited to, both Shrikant and I are so excited to share some of our best practices with you all. So let's get right into the agenda today. So we'll be going through, what is vibe coding, and this is meant to be very interactive, by the way. So if you have questions along the way, feel free to raise your hand and or add anything to the comments, and we'll be happy to respond. We'll go through a little bit of the tool landscape. So what are the main vibe coding tools out there today? What are people saying on Reddit about them, for example? What tools are good for, really really no code versus complexity. And then we're going to just start vibe coding together, and this is going to be such a simple yet fun exercise. It just shows the power of what you can do just using your own natural language. So, and then we'll share some resources and then have time for some Q&A. Sound good? Awesome. So before I share the next slide, I'd love for this to be more interactive. I know people mentioned, and by the way, I love the mix of academia and non-academia in this crowd here. This is awesome. A few of you had mentioned that you've heard of vibe coding. A lot of people are talking about it. Anyone want to volunteer and, say what they think vibe coding is? It's not a test. There's so many different ways to do this.
I could go.
Yeah.
From what I know, I think vibe coding is like it's not like very traditional coding, but taking the help of AI that's there right now, especially like Copilot or ChatGPT, and then taking that support to code is what yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And so really taking sort of our natural language to build something, right? Anyone else want to share? All right. So yeah, exactly. So, the way I think about vibe coding, it is really, and I'm so excited to describe it this way because it really gets our creative juices going. So to me, vibe coding is really the art of turning ideas into working application through just conversational AI. So it's coding by intuition, creativity, and natural language. And let's face it, we are all amazing at all three of these already. So really, democratizes and gives everyone that same playing field to build something exceptional, based on, what we think is best. All you do is you describe what you want, and AI helps you build it step by step. And this is not about replacing developers per se, but as I was alluding to earlier, it's really about democratizing the creation of what we can build in our own unique way. So this is just sort of a picture of, how literally you can just go in, give a prompt in, your natural language, use your creativity, and then AI will go in and generate the code and start running this app for you. And there's a lot of really popular apps out there that we're going to go into next. But this just gives you an idea visually about how vibe coding works. Any questions? Awesome. So a little bit of history, fun facts about where vibe coding came from. This gentleman by the name of Andrej Karpathy, I even have a difficult time pronouncing it, but I think that's how you pronounce it. He coined the term vibe coding earlier this year. So this is like not a term that was around, hasn't been around for very long, right? So it just started, I think it was early February. He had tweeted something on X and it just went gangbusters from there. Does anyone know who Andrej Karpathy is? In the AI world, you want to guess? Anyone? Oh, is there a message down there? Oh, hot off the press, cutting edge. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Andrej Karpathy was the one of the original co-founders of OpenAI, and he is now, I believe, he is still leading AI research there, and he is a former Tesla AI director. So he's pretty popular guy. Here you can see the tweet that he made back in February that got like 4 million views. It's crazy, just like that. So he really coined this term vibe coding, and now it's in the dictionary. It's like everywhere now. So yeah, just a little fun fact there. So now I'm going to hand it over to Shrikant to talk about some of the tools that are out there.
Okay, I was on mute before. Thank you, Urvashi. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Urvashi, for that amazing introduction to vibe coding. Before I go on, I just want to, before giving you the landscape of the vibe coding tool set, ask if there are any questions about what vibe coding is in general and where it came from and where we are at. As Amy correctly said, it's hot off the press, so to speak. It really only came into being earlier this year, and people are still grappling with it. But I think Urushi did a really good job overall explaining what it is and how it works and everything. So any questions before we move on? You can raise your hand or just pop in the chat.
No question's a bad question. Just remember that.
Yes. Amy, you have a question. Go
Well,
ahead.
I want to say I was so new to this. I think I had heard like the general term floating, but I didn't like, when sometimes you hear it, but then somebody else speaks it. So Urvashi, when you spoke it, I heard it and I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. I always knew she was cool, but I actually thought you created it. And then I'm like, oh no, this is not her thing. So you actually taught me what it was. So I just want others, if it sounds like others on this call had heard of it in a more formal way. And Urvashi had brought this to my attention. It was probably about a month and a half ago, I would say. So I hadn't heard of it in terms of like all the rage until very recently myself. And my question, Shrikant, just because I love like words and why people call things certain things, and I love the word vibe in general, but was there some sort of like story behind why it was named vibe? Like, what is the vibe aspect of the vibe coding? If you can just give a little more insight there.
Sure, yeah. So what
All right, I
happened
brought
was,
back the tweet just so you can.
thank you,
Thank
Urvashi.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, I can answer that. So basically, what happened was, just a little bit more history behind this. Like when LLMs first came onto the scene, that was in late 2022, they were used mostly as chatbots. Like people would chat with them, they would get, like responses back, and people were amazed at how human it sounded, although it was not, compared to where we are at right now, it was not as good. However, as engineers and hackers, we love tinkering with existing systems and whatnot. Some people thought, hey, like if it can generate, like these chats, can it generate code? And it turns out that the LLMs that were being developed at the time were actually really good at generating code, better than even generating the text, the human text that happens in chatbots. And so people said, "Oh wow, this is interesting. Like we didn't know this would be like the case. This would be happening. This would be so cool." So they started like testing it more and more and seeing like what are the applications they could use for. And code generation was one where they were showing like really solid application. And so engineers, being the way they are, just kept building on it, kept refining it and training it on more and more code-based data to help it generate better and better code. And it reached a point where the code that was being generated by these LLMs, these large language models, was so good that people started realizing that they don't really need to kind of like understand everything that all the code that was being generated. Like again, it wasn't like immediate, but over time, the code quality kept improving and improving. And so they reached a point where people are saying, oh, like this is something that I can, hand it off to an intern or, first year computer science student or someone like who doesn't understand all the basic computer science. And as the code generation quality kept improving, at this point where Andre Karpathy made this tweet, it had reached a point where people were starting to use it without really understanding what code it was being generated. And so that was the point at which he said, okay, this seems like it's just going off vibes, like people are just kind of feeling like whether the code is doing good enough, like they're not really actually testing every single line of code like they used to back in the day. but they're just feeling like and seeing like, oh, does this feel right? Does this look right? Okay, then maybe it is good enough. And so it almost came off as like a kind of a casual term he dropped around, but as Urushi mentioned, it just went viral and everyone adopted the term. So that's how this vibe coding came about. It originally wasn't why LLMs were invented, and they were for something else. But then people realized, oh, this is actually much more useful like this. Hope that
Yeah, very
answered the
cool.
question.
It basically like large language models, they realized how good they were and it could actually generate, actual applications through just typing in words or your ideas. And just so you know, just to give context, large language models, right? That's an advanced type of artificial intelligence. It's trained on massive amounts of data. The major players here in this space are OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, all those things. So when you think about, an AI, a ChatGPT, those are the main players behind the LLM models.
Yeah, so it basically, it arises from the fact that, as Andre says himself in this tweet, like the code generation became so good that he basically stopped, reading the code and making sure it was doing the right thing. It was just like, this seems good enough. Let's just, it vibes with me, so I'll just, let it do its thing. And now it's even better than when this came out, right? The one thing that I will say when we go to the next slide, Urvashi will show some tools. But one thing I'll say, a recurring theme of this entire field and in this time we live, it's a very special time, is that the AI field is moving at such a fast pace. Like it's crazy how many developments have happened, day by day and week by week. Um, yes, exactly, Amy. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So yeah, shifting to trust to LLMs. Yes, that's a good way to think about it. Exactly. Yeah, so basically, the tools that we have here is again like what we found in Reddit is are the ones that are most often mentioned, but there's lots of changes happening, and I'm pretty sure like if you revisit this slide deck or this talk next year, some of these tools here may have changed, some of them may no longer be there, some new entrants might be there because things are shifting a lot. And what's really shifting is not just the LLMs themselves are getting better, but even the products that are being built on top of this, those are shifting very, very rapidly. And so what we have here is think of it as a snapshot. Okay, this is the current snapshot of the state of affairs in the tool landscape and the most popular ones in vibe coding. This is by no means an exhaustive list, and this is by no means a static list. It's definitely going to change. And some of the tools we mentioned here are, like kind of in the process of getting merged or absorbed in other tools and so on and so forth. So here is a listing of some of the most common ones, the most popular ones that are used for vibe coding. And in the next slide, we'll talk about more about how these tools compare to each other. But before we go there, I just want to give you a big high-level overview of the different tools. So one of the most popular ones that's favored a lot by developers, who like working in the Microsoft Visual Studio, Microsoft ecosystem, they use Cursor a lot. So Cursor, is custom designed to work in Visual Studio Code, which is what's used by a lot of developers who are developing web apps or other kinds of applications. And it's a nice, neat plugin that integrates very nicely with the ecosystem, and it basically helps you write code faster. So it basically has things like it'll not only generate code, but help you do advanced editing, like edit multiple lines at once and do a whole bunch of, what we call as transformations in very, very quickly. So it became very popular because it had a very snazzy UI. It integrated very nicely with VS Code, which is one of the most popular programming language environments that is favored by developers. A name for this programming language environment is just so you know, for your awareness, is what is called an IDE. So IDE is an acronym. There's so many acronyms here, but IDE is an acronym that stands for Integrated Development Environment, and these have been around, since forever, since at least the 80s, 90s. And the idea is you bring all the tools you need to write a complete application together in one environment. And in this day and age, VS Code or Visual Studio Code is one of the most popular ones, but there are other ones as well. And the reason Cursor became so popular is because it was built as a VS Code extension, and so it just took off, because a lot of developers use that. But that's not the only one. A dramatically different approach is taken by other tools like Replit and Lovable. Each of these has a web interface, so they don't integrate into VS Code or anything, but you go to the website and then you basically type in, what you want to build in, and they have everything you need to build within their web interface or their web app. So essentially, you can think of them, both of Replit and Lovable, as web IDEs. So they're essentially IDEs, but they live on the web, which means you don't have to install VS Code on your machine. You don't have to configure anything. It all lives in the web. And both Replit and Lovable uh, claim that, like you can have everything you need to build a fully functioning app, which is, for the most part true. We'll come to some limitations in a second, but Replit and Lovable are web-based IDEs as opposed to Cursor, which is more integrated into VS Code. So both in Replit and Lovable, you can, it'll generate code for you. You can run it, you can preview it all in your browser without installing anything, and it can help you make full apps that you can even deploy with, a few clicks. Uh, Between Replit and Lovable, Lovable is one of the more popular ones, and different people cite different reasons for it. Some people say it was because it's made by Swedish people and they have a better taste or whatever. I don't know, what the different motivations are, but Replit is very well designed app and is one of the most popular web IDs for vibe coding out there. A lot of people start with Lovable. The next few we have on the list are kind of ones that are more used by more slightly more advanced users. Cloud Code in particular is used by power users. It is considered by many technical people as one of the best code generation tools available out there right now. Its code generation capabilities are really, really very, very good, one of the best. The main drawback is it requires some technical sophistication to install and use because it's a command line interface driven tool. So it also, you can use it in VS Code or you can use it in terminal, but you basically have to open up a terminal editor and type in with your keyboard, and it doesn't have a traditional GUI or graphical user interface like some of the other tools do. So it's preferred by technical people who like minimalist tools, old school style. And then Windsurf is actually something that is very popular, used to be more popular than it is now, but they had a big, acquisition event where the founders left and went joined Google, and then the rest of the team joined another company. So Windsurf is in transition, but it's also very popular. I think they're now being acquired by Cognition, which is another vibe coding tool. And then GitHub Copilot is, Microsoft GitHub's standard offering. They have, the free version on GitHub website as well as on the desktop app, and there's also paid versions of it. And finally, the last one, and again, this is a selection of the most popular ones, but the last one is a very interesting one, V0 by Vercel. Vercel is one of the big players when it comes to like deploying web applications. So their specialization is in deploying web applications. They're the company that developed this technology called Next.js, which is like a very basic JavaScript framework that's used to develop web apps. And so they also developed this vibe coding tool called V0, and it's primarily really excels at generating what we call as the front end, which is the user interface of your app. So a lot of people really love this product. Some of them don't get it, so it's kind of like you love it or hate it. There's no like middle ground in between there. But yeah, it also excels in the front end part really well. So to summarize, as I said, these are some of a selection of tools, and the landscape is constantly changing, and new things are being announced all the time. Like a few days ago, we had the Dev Day by OpenAI, and they announced this, agent builder and agent kit, which brings new capabilities. And so next year or even a few months, this list might look something else altogether. You might have some other apps that focus more on agentic workflows or whatnot. We don't know yet. This field is evolving very rapidly. And that's why it's such an exciting time to learn about this and be in this, because you're getting a front row seat to basically like history being made,
Yeah,
Uh,
very cool. And notice how
yeah.
I put the disclaimer.
Mhm.
These are the major players as of 2 days ago.
Yes,
LOL.
exactly. And things do change a lot. So by no means take this as, like written in stone, like keep an eye out because the players and the technologies and everything is moving so fast. It's really hard to even keep up for professionals sometimes. So if you go to the next slide, you'll think like, oh wow, there's so many tools we have to learn, and how do we pick and choose? So we have tried to kind of like divide all the tools into this nice 2 by 2 matrix to make it slightly easier for you to understand how these tools compare to each other and which ones to pick with. So the two axes we have chosen to classify these tools are along learning curve on the one hand versus customization. And typically the idea is some of these tools are designed to be very easy to learn. So they have a very nice user interface, very little setup required and everything. But as a consequence of that, they also have abstract away a lot of the complexity behind the scenes. And so it may not be as easy to, like get fine grained control over, the code you're developing or whatever things you want to do. And the other tools that are designed more for the expert developer or hackers who really want to control every little knob and button there is to play around with, and then use that to, customize their app to the nth degree, right? So we basically, and tools fall on the spectrum. So there's basically almost a tool for every use case, right? There's nothing in the steep learning curve and low customization control yet, because that's not a use case. That's not a situation anyone wants to be in, where a tool is really hard to learn and also doesn't allow you to customize much. A lot of tools
Yeah, that
actually
kind
get
of goes
stuck.
against the notion of vibe coding, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're just doing hardcore coding.
yeah. Well, the truth is, a lot of these tools, like when they first came out, when they were first developed, they're all in the bottom left-hand quadrant, right? But they all moved out of that quadrant because as long as they stayed there, it wouldn't appeal to, the hackers because they wanted customization, or to the non-hackers because they wanted a gentle learning curve. So as new tools are being developed, you'll see that they'll, if you follow Reddit or other forums, the new tools are being coming out almost daily basis, right? And they'll often start off in that bottom left quadrant, but the successful ones break out of that and move either to the right or up, or ideally to the top right as quickly as possible. So on the top left, we have these tools that have very gentle learning curves. As Urvashi mentioned, Lovable is one of them, a very popular one. V0 is also a very gentle learning curve. The customization options are there. You can customize a lot of things, but it's not as fully customizable as some of the other tools. So that's the trade-off these tools make, is that they make it super easy for you to get started. For example, you can just start by saying what you want to build, and it'll build it for you, but it doesn't allow you to, for example, select which LLM model to use. So some LLM models are better to use than others in certain contexts, but these tools don't give you that option, at least in the main interface. You can go in settings and change that, but not in the main interface, right? And on the bottom right, you have the opposite extreme, where those are tools that give you extremely fine-grained control over every aspect of code generation, but the learning curve is very steep. So Claude Code, for example, is a classic example. It works off the terminal. So you first need to know what is the terminal, how to invoke it. It's not one of those standard applications that's visible by default on your computer. It is there on every computer, but it's not shown by default because it's mostly used by hackers. But if you know how to use it, then it's insanely powerful and can let you do lots of amazing things. Cloud Code in particular has, the highest context window of all the tools out there, can really understand your code base and generate code that is really high quality. GitHub Copilot is also at the very top level there. It integrates nicely with VS Code, again, because it's a Microsoft product, and has deep integration to the rest of the Microsoft ecosystem. So it's very powerful, but also requires a lot of fine tuning to get it to work as you want it. And then on the top right are
Hey,
those tools. Sorry. Yeah.
sorry, Shrikant. I just want to make sure we have enough time to go through the
Yeah,
panel.
yeah, I'm almost, yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
quickly go through the two more slides, and then we'll
perfect.
be back to
Okay.
demo. On the top right, we have those tools that try to strike a good balance between learning curve and customization control. So Cursor, Windsurf, and Replit, they do allow you some level of control, and this learning curve is relatively less steep than the others. So this is for developers who have graduated from Lovable V0 and want to, take it to the next level. That's where you'd go to these tools. So the order, if you're starting off scratch, you'd start off with something on the top left, then move to the right, and then if you really are adventurous, you can go down to the bottom into tools that are more control. So with that, we can go to the next slide and just give you a sense of the comparison in terms of cost and deployment, right? Again, these numbers are current as of a few days ago, and likely to change, especially in light of the announcements that OpenAI is making and Google is making. But this is what the prices are. All tools have some version of free, like Lovable, for example, will give you some free credits every day. So, you can use that to play around with, but it's very limited. For doing anything semi-serious, you would have to pay. So this is, again, just a snapshot of what it looks like right now. A lot of its tools are roughly in the same price point range. And the deployment effort varies from low to moderate. And most tools don't have a high deployment effort because that's abstracted away. So, after this slide, I just want to give you a high level overview of what people are saying about these tools. So again, like kind of give you a sense of like where these tools, how suitable they are for different things. And these are just selections of quotes we have found from the internet. Having used, everyone has a different experience, right? So for Cursor, some people really love it, swear by it, and this is just what they want to use. Others, like Cloud Code more because of its technical capabilities. Lovable is, very popular, and sometimes you can build something really amazing very quickly in it, and sometimes you can't, right? Same thing with Replit and V0. So the overall idea is vibe coding is, extremely powerful, as Urvashi mentioned, to go from like this idea to prototyping very quickly. But in order to, like really have like a fully productionized app, you have to go beyond vibe coding. But these tools are really good at getting you from your idea to something that's the rough prototype. So the barriers that existed for non-technical people, the technical barriers that exist no longer are there. So there's no excuse for you to try out vibe coding and prototyping your apps. And this is what the promise of these tools is. No coding knowledge required, no technical jargon, just use your creativity and build something that at least shows what you're trying to build, like the prototype of what you're trying to build. Okay, and that's what we'll be trying to do in the next section. So I'll hand it off back to Urvashi now to go through a
Thank
live
you.
demo.
Yeah, and I know, Amy, you had a question for non-techies. Like, I know there were some technical terms that were, introduced today, so don't get overwhelmed by all that. But just know that there's different levels of vibe coding. You may have, if you're more technical, people tend to go to the, bottom right quadrant. If you're new to vibe coding, there's lots and lots of options for you, which I love Lovable. That's on the top left, as Shrikant has mentioned. That's the way to go. So, and Amy, you had a question specifically from a non-technical point of view. What advice do you have for young people wanting to build their vibe coding skills to get professional foot in the door? How much do business HR decisions value this stuff? I would say they value this stuff a ton. I'll give you an example. I ran a vibe coding session at the AI Powered Woman event that took place at MIT in early September. A woman reached out to me afterwards and she's like, "Oh, I loved your vibe coding session. Can I bug you for another half-hour one-on-one? Because I'm interviewing for this position." It was a marketing position. And she's like, "I'm interviewing for this marketing position and I need to know how to do vibe coding." It was actually part of the interview. They wanted her to build like a go-to marketing strategy and actually show it on a website. Shrikant and I were more than happy to hop on a call with her. And I haven't even shared this with you, Shrikant. She got the job. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. So this is the kind of stuff that employers are starting to see. And the more you can learn about vibe coding, the faster you can start to prepare yourself for some of these interviews. So great question, Amy. And I think it's so valid for this audience. Any other questions before we start getting our hands dirty with vibe coding?
I just want to welcome my friend Carla. I don't know, Carla, if you're able in a spot to say a quick hello and introduce yourself briefly and what about this interests you and where you're zooming in from. She may have had
So
to.
I'm driving, so I don't know.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Welcome.
Welcome,
Sorry,
Carla.
thank
Oh,
you.
no problem. Do you want to just say anything about either like your mission or your organization, or what about any of
Yeah,
this interests you?
sure. So I'm Carla. I'm the co-founder and president of the Wellstorm Inc., which is a nonprofit organization started in 2021 with my co-founder Jasenia Arroyo. And we focus on homelessness, food insecurity, mental health, and youth programming. And we've been doing it since 2021. Well, actually 2020. And then 2021 is when we officially got, I guess, branded, we could call it. um, but yeah, I just wanted to come in and see what this is all about so I could learn more. And I love Amy, and thanks, Amy, for sharing the link over. And yeah, just looking to learn.
Amazing. And thank you for your leadership. And she's a humble warrior, my friends, but she just got a huge acknowledgement. Well deserved. I'm so happy for you about that, Carla. We'll talk soon.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Back to you, Urvashi.
Amazing, amazing. Nice to meet you, Carla. All right, so we're gonna get into vibe coding. So if you're driving, don't try this, but for everyone else, let's get right into this. So as I mentioned, I think I posted it on the messages. I love, 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 lovable. So we're all going to do this. If you can see my screen still, we are going to go to Lovable.dev. Don't type and submit anything yet. Just let me know if you're in there. Lovable.dev. You should see a screen like this.
And by the way, if there are questions anytime in between this demo, feel free to pop them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask, and we can answer them as we go along. Yes, Amy, indeed.
Right. Is everyone in? Can everyone see the screen? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so when you're in here, please don't type anything yet and submit your first vibe coding instructions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because most of you, unless you have a subscription to Lovable, you get 5 credits a day. So I want to make sure you make the most out of this session and use the 5 credits appropriately. So don't type in anything yet, but what I want you to do is log in. Just single sign on your Gmail, whatever you want to do, log in, don't pay anything. It's if you get a free account. Yes, create a free account. Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of these tools offer a free tier or some kind of free account to help you try it out first. But as I said, they're very limited, but it gives you a sense of the capabilities of what these tools have to offer. So it's a good way to play around, to get
So
familiar.
just, yeah, exactly. So just if you can throw a thumbs up if you have created your free account. All right, Rena, yes. Anyone else? Amy, Carmela, Sahith, were you able to get your free account? Oh, maybe he stepped out. Okay.
Yes.
Brian. Okay, we'll assume yes, and we're going to move forward now. So I'm going to go back to the next screen here. So I forgot to mention what we're going to build. So we're building something really fun. We're going to try it out. We are going to build a daily motivational app. It's going to be super cute. I actually built one and I added my own little things like, oh, give a different picture of a puppy for each motivational app. It was super cute. It was an AI pup, but that's okay. So we're going to go back to Lovable here and just type in, build an app. Thanks, Amy. Build a daily motivational app for me where I can actually, Shrikant, do you want to share? You don't have to use the exact same words as what we did, but Shrikant, if you want to share, because I know you created this first, right? Do you want to share what you had put in?
Yeah, I'll put in the chat window here for everyone to put in. There you go.
And I'll share mine too, so you guys can, play around with it. Let's take like maybe a minute to come up with your own creative way of building this daily motivational app. I said with a modern design and, shows a random inspirational quote. I actually updated that to say with include in the quote, the author of the quote.
Yeah. So one thing to realize about these, as you're building this out, you'll just want to comment that the cool thing about these code generation tools is that you can never be fully sure what kind of output it will produce. Like different times it will produce different outputs. Even minor variations in what you input might generate huge variations in the output. And this can be considered a feature or a bug depending on your perspective. Some people love the fact that, it's so creative and you never know what you can come up with. You can come with something that's out of the box. And some people, engineer types, especially the ones who are traditional engineers, don't like it at all. And they consider it one of the major limitations of vibe coding, which is that it's not reproducible. You give it the same thing multiple times, you get different results every time. So depending on your point of view, this can be good or not good. But when you're going to like real world production apps, this is something that people often then take care of. Is they take the existing app that you build in vibe coding and then make it production ready. Make sure that it authenticates correctly, it's secure, data is secured by default, privacy is preserved, and all those things. So that is something that you still have to do, in the traditional way, at least for now. But who knows, even that might change by next year.
I feel like we should play like when I first heard the term vibe coding, I pictured like me in a cafe with my headsets on, just vibing to some music and coding. I think this is how a lot of people like got that inspiration too. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should be playing some music.
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be such a bad idea.
All right. So while you're yes. So simple prompt, right? Very easy. Did anyone submit now you can submit the prompt. Did anyone submit the prompt? It takes a
Not
few
yet,
minutes.
but I had a question about the like number of features. Does it affect it in any way if you put too many features, like ask for too many things or
No, I would give it a shot. I
okay.
mean, you have 5 credits a day. It generally for something like this, it might take a couple of credits, but if you want to put it all in one prompt and see what it comes out with, I mean, I think whatever you put in, it should fit in within the 5 credits. I mean, obviously, if you want to get a subscription, they give you it's like $25 a month. You get lots of credits and you know it basically sets you up to vibe code all the time. Basically, if you get the subscription. Or you can just do 5 credits a day. So while you guys I did a very simple prompt, right? And now I'm going to share with you. Let me see if I can do this here. Bear with me. I'm going to pop up. Can everyone see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes. All right. So you see this little pop, and then I can go to the next one. I actually just love this. I'm going to use this every day. I'm going to pull this up because I need quotes all the time to keep me motivated and engaged. So here we go. And then you can go to the next one. I love this one. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Yes. So some awesome quotes here. And voila, I've got my little daily motivator set up. Now, how did I bring this up? So once you put in your prompt, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and recreate this again. And this will give you an idea of, yes, exactly. It doesn't generate the same thing all the time. So I'm going to generate this web app again. So everyone can see it's doing its thing, right? It takes a few minutes to create. Now, once it actually spins up this app for you, you can go to the top right and hit publish. And what this does is it makes what you just built publishable, and then you can share it with other people. So like I could send anyone here in fact, I'll do that right now. So you guys can, if you guys want to use it, feel free anytime. You guys can, this is the pup quote app. So you guys can save this as a bookmark and use it on your own, right? Hi, Eileen, welcome. Would you like to do a quick intro?
Sure. I finally got my camera working. I'm like, okay, I know you guys were talking before about technology and limited technology skills. I'm like, okay, turn on my husband's IT skills. Make sure get out of your Zoom, make sure you update it. But then I'm like, I'm still having trouble with my video. And so I'm trying to do this little research. So I'm like, you know what? He always says 95% of your issues will be resolved if you just push that on off button for 11 seconds and reboot. And look at this, my camera works now.
Yay.
Good
Awesome.
to see you, Eileen.
Used to be true, still is true.
Anyway,
Okay.
so yeah, my name is Eileen Dawson, and I am a personal finance educator. I work with mostly individuals and couples, and I teach personal finance and help people with budgeting And most of my clients are trying to get their income over their expenses, get rid of credit cards, student loan debt, vehicle loan debt. So that's what I do.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome for.
Yes, of course.
Welcome.
Thank you. So we're
Thanks
just
for
in the middle
joining.
of our little vibe coding session here. So it's been super fun. So as you can see, as I was mentioning, I recreated the web app, and this time I did not include to put in the author of the quote. So you can see here that it doesn't include it. I can just do a simple update. Actually, before I do that, I just want to show here on the left-hand screen, if you go to the top, so basically this is the idea for the web app that I put in plain English, right? And this is what Lovable created. It's telling me, okay, I'm going to create this beautiful daily motivational app with these quotes. This is going to be the design approach, features. It's already making those decisions for me based on what I said. And then it generates this. Now you can see a couple things I wanted to call out. Here you can see the credits that were used. So it used 1.9 credits. So if you all want to see how many credits you actually used out of your 5 daily credits a day, you can go ahead and see that. There's a preview option. A couple things you can do is you can go right into here. If you wanted, you can go right into the page, or you can just say, in my case, I'm gonna go right into Lovable and say, update the page to include the author of each quote, of the quote. And then that's going to use up some more credits, right? And so you'll be able to see, once it's done completing, how many extra credits it used.
So the thing I want to highlight here, which is what distinguishes vibe coding from traditional coding and answers Amy's question from before a little bit, is that in traditional coding, what you'd do is you'd go into the actual code base, look at the relevant sections of code, and then add that feature or whatever you want by yourself. And here, in order to make any changes, you just basically type it out, and it will do it for you in natural language. So that's why it's more based off vibes.
Yep. So you can see here that it used, whoops. Let's go back to here. You can see that when I click on the update, it used another 0.7 credits. So, but enough about my app. Who wants to share their app? Any volunteers?
I can share.
Yes, of course. Would
I
love
tried
that.
to add a few different features. So I have a daily affirmation, a daily challenge, and then I tried to put a space to write like goals that you have for
Nice.
the
That is
day.
very creative.
It looks really cool.
Wow. Wow.
So there's a space to put text as well.
Fantastic.
I would buy that.
Amazing.
This is very cool.
Amazing.
Thank you for sharing about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
Did you publish it? Because feel free
No,
to.
not yet. No.
You could. There's a publish button on the top
Oh,
right.
here.
If you want to share it with any of your
Oh, and
friends.
then what happens? So then this is her creating an app like in real life that can be
Yeah.
shared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that URL that you see
Adrina,
over
send it
there.
over, girl. I need the bill.
Yeah, I know. We all need this.
I will send it to the chat right now.
Yeah, so you
I
can.
love that it's not like a totally new concept, but it's like it's made so easy.
Yeah, this is really cool.
You just have to make sure you hit the publish button on the bottom right.
Okay, yeah.
And
I'm
once you
doing
do
it
that,
right.
then you can share it with everyone.
I will share.
Oh, I have a doubt. Like, where did I find my published ones? Like,
Yeah, do you want to share your screen?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so what Drina just did, like this used to take, software developers like weeks or even months, depending on the
Wow.
complexity to build. But we just built it in a
I
few
did a
minutes.
different one. I don't know if you can see my.
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made my web resume. I made different one.
Fantastic. This is great.
Fantastic. Oh, that's where I was going to go next. Very cool. Very cool. Look at
But
that.
I did publish it.
Wow.
There's a publish button.
Ah,
Yeah,
this is
look at that.
great.
Yeah, it does take me to my LinkedIn account, but I have
Uh-huh.
to sign in right now.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you can hit publish on the top right. And then you made some changes, it looks like, so just update it. And then when it updates, you should have a screen that comes up where you can actually copy that link. So once it's done uploading, just wait a second. Okay, great.
Let's see the original prompt you had, Parimala, while just updating. What did you put in? Just curious to see.
Scroll up.
If you scroll up all the way in the left, yeah.
Yeah, I had given like a few different ones. I just gave one like based on my
Ah,
review.
perfect.
Very nice.
Yeah, so here you added a file and asked it to create a page
Yeah.
for you. Like, so you can, this is one of the cool things. You can now give it, documents, upload documents, or point it to URLs and say, like build something based on that. We're
So
getting used to, yeah, go ahead, Amy.
Carla, who's driving and is going to stay very focused on the road, but what we just built here, Paramala, so maybe publish it. I would love to grab it for any of those of us who do like any kind of career coaching or job development, supporting people in transition that are looking for their next and looking to market themselves. Carla, I feel like what Paramala just created might be helpful for some of the people that you also coach. So this is really fascinating. So I'm kind of wondering now from the employer point of view, and maybe this is for Urvashi. Um, I'm trying to understand from the employer point of view. So now Paramela as the job seeker, she's got this app to better market herself essentially, right? That kind of was very quick to create, but like how is it received by the potential employer? How is this helping her connect to actual real world employers?
Oh, it's amazing because you can
Okay.
now just take this URL after you've QA'd it, right? Like just make sure you've buttoned up the colors you want, et cetera, et cetera. You
Yeah.
can really put this website on your LinkedIn page.
So it's
It's
literally like it's a URL now to help the job seeker personally brand themselves. Like more, it's their
yeah,
own website that's customized, has different links.
yep.
So Carla, I know this is a lot while driving, but like I'm just thinking of the people that I coach and the people that you coach. Like this is one of those examples of like what did that take? Like 6 minutes, Parmala?
Oh no, 2 minutes. Actually,
2 minutes.
I did this at like 1:15 and the results came in 1:18, so like 3 minutes.
Right. It's
Wow.
amazing. It's amazing. And if I can just when you're done with this, I want to go back to something and I can share this with you. I'll make sure it's included in the deck. But when I did the vibe coding session at MIT, so we used a daily motivation app, but for the one we did before, it was literally what Parmila just did, which is, create a page about your vision, your skills, and your story, right? So here, what I did is I created this prompt generator. And so this is something that anyone can have access to. I'll make sure I include this in the deck when we share it out. This can almost this essentially creates a prompt for you in Lovable that you can just copy and paste in from your into Lovable from here. So you can put in your name, you can put in your bio, you can put in your skills. So these are things that Parmila, sorry if I'm not saying your name properly, I apologize.
Okay.
Parimala, yes, that you had put in. And once you put it in here, you can generate your prompt. And I'll give you an example of me using this and what it generated for me. So if I go back to, and we can have a separate session on this too, Amy, if you want, at any point in time. But if you go to my Lovable and kind of what I have, when this is what, and you can upload a picture too. This is what was generated for me when I created my own. And again, same as Parimala, it just literally took less than 5 minutes to create
Wow.
this. And you can upload, like I did a few edits. I uploaded my picture, but it tells a little bit about me. You can go into the history of kind of, it almost has like a much better visual appearance of a LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's so many, pardon me?
I love your photo too and how it blends with the colors of your shirt. I see what you did there.
This is the colors of our company.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, but back to you, Parimala. Feel free to share that because I think it'll be really cool for you to share what your input variables were
Yeah.
to create that website because that'll be
Oh,
really
definitely.
I could see that being so valuable for whether people are in college or they're, transitioning career paths, just trying to market themselves. Um, Urvashi, Shrikant, I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
you guys,
Yeah.
you could, I'm sure you're already in demand as far as going on the road with these sorts of talks, but I really feel like that's
mhm.
so relevant right now.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
mean, there's a lot of resources out there that you can also tap into, but we're happy to come in on any of these, we could carve out a lunch and learn where people are just like literally vibe coding and then they can, reach out to us if they have any questions about what they're coding. But I think using Lovable and other vibe coding tools to market yourself, because look, at the end of the day, there's a lot of noise out there, especially with AI. There's a lot of people doing the same type of stuff. But I always say there's no one doing it with you leading it. And this is a wonderful space for you to showcase that.
Yeah. So Parimala, you can get the URL by basically looking at the preview. Yeah, if you click on preview, no, that's the preview. So if you go to publish, you'll see the URL. If you click on the publish button, yeah, you click on the pencil icon, copy that. Yeah, copy that. That's the URL. You can
You
just
just control C it.
control C it. It's already highlighted. No, that's not. So hang on. Did
No,
you?
no, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's going back to the
I
dev.
think you need the lovable
Yeah.
Yeah, you need the
part too.
lovable.dev in
Mhm.
there. So if you could just add in at the end. I don't know why it's not letting you copy it, but
Not lovable.dev.
.dev, yeah. I think you need to add in .dev, yeah. Oh, no.
But in the website,
I think if you just click on it, can you click? Yeah, and then it should.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. There it is. That's the URL. You can now copy paste this anywhere. Put it on your LinkedIn.
Lovable.app.
Yeah, this is helpful. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. I think I might like later on make some changes. I think I used up all my credits for today, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go
yeah,
back
but this is
into
awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. This is great. So, this is vibe coding, guys.
Yeah. And
You
Amy,
can do so much with it.
you made an awesome app yourself. I
Oh,
love that.
thanks.
I think
Just
I'm
the
gonna,
fact, you guys, the fact that we're putting those like multiple words in one sentence that Amy developed an app is like hysterical. Like, I think that's so great. So if anybody
but
else
you
can
did
like,
it. You
yes,
did
I
it.
did it. Even when you were first introducing this, Urvachi, earlier, and I think you were the one to say democratizing, and I kind of miss what we were democratizing, but essentially what I'm getting after having done the exercise is like it's an easy way. So vibe coding, I'm not sure if this is like an accurate description, but like for me, the way I would describe it now that I didn't know before the session is like, okay, vibe coding is an easy way through these various apps to democratize app development for
Yes.
like non-techies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in a way that, like, and of course, the innovator in me is like, well, what are the various, struggles or problems to be solved that can be like handled in minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, I never even like, I mean, I'm sure other people that I mean, a lot of people that have, I mean, I'm just thinking my girl Carla and some other people that like, I mean, I can speak for myself. I am not techie by any means, but I'm kind of like a quick study. I'm always interested in like kind of what's happening, what's next. But, I've always done more like community-based programming and helping coaching. And I never imagined I could just like create a solution through a tech app, like for me, like that's totally wild. So
A
That
game
look,
changer.
is
look at what you
that,
created. This is amazing. Your
thank
own
you.
little task manager.
Yes, and can you tell what I've been struggling with recently, my friends? Like with everything and if anybody, I'll just say this as well, and I'll zip it for right now. But I myself, some of you have heard me describe myself as this. I am a high empath. So when very hard things are happening in the world, when people are harming people, or things are just bonkers, like you can't make sense of other people's behavior, I myself have a hard time staying focused on what I need to do for my own business, my own day-to-day, my own clients and young people. So this is something that I didn't even know what I was doing. I just feel like this is something I need right now. I need to be able to like identify critical tasks and move through them. And one thing that I might do if I were to do this differently is maybe to weave in like to both acknowledge what's happening in the world and choose to like move forward and stay focused on what I need to do. It doesn't mean that, you know, like I don't care about the state of the world or people suffering. Like they're simultaneously existing. I really can't help that person across the world, but I can still be compassionate and take a step forward in doing what I need to do. So that's kind of what I was hoping to achieve, even though
Yeah,
I didn't integrate that other piece, but that's kind of what's going on for me.
I love it. Yeah, getting that motivation to
Yeah.
really realize that you moving forward is helping make the world a better place. That's what we need. Awesome. Love it. All right. So just to wrap up here. Oh gosh, we took up so much of your time, Amy. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to.
No, this is really the bulk of it. I mean, this is what's most useful, and then we can debrief for those who can stay on for a few minutes, but no worries. It's your
All
time.
right. Cool. So yeah, just sort of secret sauce, right? Make the quote larger, you can add follow-up prompts if you want. Each prompt builds on the previous one. For Lovable, it takes about 15 to 30 seconds to make. Just some keynotes to keep in mind, right? As you're doing the prompting, don't just take what you've built and go off and publish it. You still need to do your QA. You still need to make sure that it's aligning with what you're saying, because AI is AI. It's using pattern recognition. It will make mistakes. So it's not perfect.
Well,
So make sure you're doing your QA. Yes, Shrikant.
I just want to add, like, one way to remember this is like you can think of VIBE as an acronym for very iteratively build and evaluate, right? So as Urvashi was saying, like you have to evaluate as well. Don't just put it out there without checking, because there's still a lot of mistakes that AI can do. So remember what VIBE stands for.
Yeah. Awesome. So your homework, build something you've been delaying.
Yeah.
Do it now, right? You're looking ahead, right? There's so much of the world that's changing because of low code, no code, vibe coding tools. And just real quick, I'll add is a little bit about what we are doing, right? So we have been iterating on our product quite a bit, and we don't build any new features until our customers have said, yes, hell yes, we want this in the product. And the way we do that is we actually vibe code the feature. So we vibe code it and we show it to them. It's a little bit static. It's not obviously not integrated with our product, but that's the power of vibe coding. We vibe code it, we show it to our customers. And then if we get enough yeses, resounding yeses, then we go back and integrate it, right? And now what we're doing is the key for us with building a business, and especially with a startup, is to really listen to what the problem is, and not so I encourage you to do that as you build your apps. Right now, you might be doing it for yourself, but if in the future you start building an app for somebody else, really lean in on what actually the problem is that you're trying to solve. So this is just an example of what we're learning about with our customers, and we're kind of tapping into sort of the mid-market customer, software companies, tech companies who have a group of customers that they need to continue to keep happy so that they can get sort of recurring revenue from them. So after speaking to those, these are some of the pain points that we've been hearing, and only based on these major pain points are we going back and building something. So this just gives you a little bit of flavor for what we're doing. Last but not least, I'll say, there's some resources. You'll get this PowerPoint, Amy. We'll share it out to everyone. But you can see some resources here. There's some local resources. There's Launch by Lunch. Launch by Lunch is it's a community for primarily non-technical founders who are looking to build something. And so they have these lunch and learns where they get technical folks to come in and help. So people like Shrikant would come in and help. If you're working for an employer, There's Mass Technology Leadership Council. I highly encourage all employers to join this. As an employee, you can tap into this as well. There's AI Powered Woman that has an academy as well. So you can take a look at that. And then lastly, I'll just say thank you so much. We're so appreciative of you all. Thank you, Amy, for having us here. Please reach out to us. Please connect with us. We'd be happy to do a post and tag you all on this. And also here is a post on PriorWise, and feel free to follow us and join us on LinkedIn. And I'll just leave it at that. Any questions?
How about key takeaways or golden nuggets? Like, what did you get that was valuable? And/or questions, of course.
I have a quick question about Lovable. Do you know is it possible to make like a custom domain or something based on that, or does it stay on the Lovable platform if you're like branding or things like that is important?
Yeah, you can port it over to your own domain too. Shrikant, do you want to add on top of that?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think when Parimala was demonstrating her app, you saw that there's an option for custom domain there. So you can use that option to port it to your custom domain if you want. I do think though that the free version has some limitations. You might have to pay for it.
Okay,
I don't remember now, but I think you might get one free domain and then you have to pay for more.
that's cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Good question. Any other questions, key takeaways?
Paramala, how are you going to use today's session to move forward? What was most useful?
Oh, the entire session was useful. I'm so happy. I came to this session, and thank you, Shrikant and Urvashi. Thank you so much for the good demonstration and everything. Especially right now, I've built my previous like my portfolio app, but it took me like a week because I was doing it in somewhere else. Like, but this is like in 2 minutes is like crazy, and like this is it saves so much of my time so I could focus on other things that I have to do. And then this is so easy. I think I might use it. Like tomorrow, I might use it like for my different resumes and like make different for each of it, and then see how. And then I think I'm gonna use it every day.
Yeah.
Lovable especially, and I'm gonna try out other ones too. To start like vibe coding because I am new to like. I would say I rank between beginner to intermediate as a programmer or like coding wise as someone who is still learning on the stage of beginning. I think this is just a good way to practice. Even like there's an option to check the code and everything, so like I could always like start this off as a practice platform, and also even to build some daily necessary things, even a build an app for a friends to connect or something, which is very much useful. I feel like, yeah, this is awesome. I think I'm going to use it everywhere in life.
That's amazing. And I'd love to hear from Sahith if you're willing and able to share what you got from it. And before, I know I just kind of dropped that on you, Sahith, if you're willing, but just to give him a moment, and I'm curious to piggyback on what Paramala just shared. So, you know, how can we help young people? And they probably, maybe they don't need the help, but I'm curious, how can we sort of sum up this new skill set for them to use on their LinkedIn, or perhaps they do more of an app on Lovable like Parimal is talking about, but I don't think it would replace LinkedIn because you can kind of have a button connected to it. So I'm always interested in making sure young people have that, the articulated skill set that's valuable to the employer, and they're able to showcase that both, in writing on their LinkedIn. They could refer to it in a cover letter, resume, their app, but like how would you suggest they put that into words that now they have this ability to showcase to potential employers?
Yeah, is this yeah, Shrikant, you want to take it? Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I'm assuming it's a question for us, Amy.
Yeah,
So
probably more on the tech side. Like if you're well, and maybe not. Like I'm thinking of the business decision makers, the people in HR who don't always understand like the technical jargon of like the skill. Like I'm always curious, like, well, how can young people better market themselves? How can they specify now what skill they have that could really bring them in for an interview and maybe even land the job, like that example.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so I'll say from the technical slash semi-technical point of view, the line between technical and non-technicals are blurring quite fast, and even
Yeah.
non-technical people are expected to be able to build quick
True.
functioning prototypes of their ideas. So for young people, my suggestion and recommendation would be to showcase your creativity by building such prototype apps in Lovable and build a portfolio of those and show
Yeah.
how you were able to, like use vibe coding or any other tools to get that. Because in this day and age, having good facility and fluency in AI is basically table stakes. Without that, almost every job is impacted by that. Without that, it's almost hard to get any job, whether it's technical or non-technical. So I would say, like, just practicing using these tools, getting better and better at the prompts you put in and understanding how to create high quality, prototypes using this would go a very long way in helping you get the jobs you're looking for, whether it's technical or non-technical. And just to, add one more thing, which is that even technical companies are now, like Google and Microsoft, they are saying publicly that most of their code is being generated by AI automatically. So even they are not expecting their engineers to write code. So code writing itself is not that important anymore. The ability to use AI to orchestrate these things is more important.
So I think that's critical. The ability to utilize the AI tools available to us, to leverage those, to lead, to communicate, to interact, to collaborate, and this is where the, so-called soft skills or success skills and technical skills are very much coming together. And to think of it like we're not bound to be replaced. We need to be able to drive with the tools available. I think that's important for young people to feel confident in that, because that's exciting as opposed to so daunting, like I'm never going to get a job. Who's hiring?
Yeah. Another thing you can do is if young professionals are volunteering, ask them. This comes back to start to lean in, listen to the problems that they're having, listen to the problems that some of these volunteer organizations are having. Could you help? Could you build a web app for them that's quick and easy that they just start using internally themselves?
So, and you guys, I hear this from employers all the time about the importance of problem solving and applied problem solving skills. So this is such a critical example. And if I can do it, anybody can do it, really, in terms of what we just did today. So I think that's really exciting. So thank you, everybody.
Add on to what just Urvashi said, like nonprofits and also working with startups, right? Like, it's like we host a lot of interns and students, and it really helps to have, real world experience in smaller companies and organizations. That really could go a long way. So, yeah.
Sahid, what did you get that was most valuable for yourself out of this talk, and what might you do now, and or any question you have before our speakers head out?
Yeah, I have tried the ChatGPT before while I am using the portfolios and all. This time I have used the Lovable for the portfolio. It takes a quicker time and it's smoother. Like when I'm building, I need to publish. I am using some websites using the GitHub, so it is easy for me to publish here instead of going to GitHub and publish there. So we can preview it and we can adjust whatever we want at the real time, and we can publish easily.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And Brian or Eileen, do you have anything that you'd like to say, reflect on briefly, or ask?
My guess is it's going to just, some of it is just trying to, wrap your arms around, like, what exactly, AI is such a new thing, and we're all just in a constant mode of learning.
Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Brian, sorry about that. Go ahead if you're able.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, this is phenomenal. I could see so many uses for this. Like really cutting edge, and I think in record time, like really balancing efficiency and productivity and innovation in so many different ways. Yeah, I cannot wait to really dive into this more on my own time and play around with it. And I presume that we'll have some circle back around about this topic and programming wise. Hint, hint.
Yes. I know, programming, the innovative program person, Brian, among other things. Let's talk soon, you guys. We are at 2 o'clock, so I'm just going to throw up the screen, especially for my friend Eileen. FYI, I know you're in the financial arena. We're doing a virtual panel setting young people up for success, financial success in 2026 and beyond on December 4th. We have one, possibly two more seats on that panel. If that's something of interest that you want to bring, we should chat before. Yes. And if everybody can put on their calendar, please, for Thursday, November 13th. So it's the second Thursday of the month. Our YP network trainings are either first or second. This happens to fall on the second Thursday next month, and it's going to be for all ages, all stages, and it's going to be a great time virtually for people to connect and maybe even break out based on industry insights, etc. So this has been awesome. I know you've got to run, Urvashi and
Yes,
Shrikant.
Shrikant will
Thank
stay.
you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, amazing.
Yes.
And you rock. Go to your next podcast, your next presentation. She's on fire. All right, my dear. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
I have to leave soon
Awesome.
too.
So that's Eileen, I just wanted to make sure that you had that and maybe circle back with me. Hopefully we'll talk well before December 4th. Drina, I want to know more about what you are working on in education. So if you can, no pressure, but I'd love to learn just about what you're creating and how you found this to be useful. If there's any way that we can support you more, please let us know. I love what you're doing, and you really are, all of us, you guys, everyone here, Paramala, Brian, Sahith, Shrikant, everyone who's been on. If you're watching the recording, I'm talking to you too. We together truly are. We are co-creating a world that works here, and it takes all of us. Our work matters. We matter. Sometimes we wonder, what are we all doing, right? We're working so hard, and the world sometimes feels like it's going to hell in a handbasket. But we are co-creating a world that works, and it takes each one of us. And I do hope to see you all soon at a future YP Network event, or hopefully even sooner. So please reach out, give us an update, let us know how we can serve and like what we can dig into more. And some of these, both training and coaching, we're here to really support. So thank you. With that, everybody have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. It's a little chilly out there, but it is beautiful sun. It can be both chilly and warm at the same time. So take that what you will. And Shrikant, I have learned so much. I know everybody here has learned so much, and we look forward to circling back around with you in Urvashi soon. Okay?
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thanks for
Bye,
organizing this,
everybody.
Amy. Bye.
Bye.